Welcome to the lecture on turning a short story into a novel, and when to do it and when not to do it and how to do it and all kinds of stuff along those lines. I'm recording this on a late Friday afternoon on the Oregon coast in Lincoln City, Oregon, in my office at WMG Publishing, and about 100 steps that way is Highway 101, which is quite busy and quite loud. So please, I apologize for the rumblings and all the stuff in the background, and especially if you're listening to this on a high quality. I mean, I'm just recording it on my computer here with some bizarre lights, but you know, I apologize for the rumbling. This is also being recorded in July of 2015. Now, it just so happens that this month that I am doing a very public writing, as I've been doing for 2 years, writing in public on my blog. I'm writing a short story a day. I'm working on doing them, and this is the 24th. I have done 25 short stories so far this month, one a day, and they have been, you know, all the way from 5,000 words down to 1,800 words. They're all short stories. And what I've been talking about on my blog is every so often one of these stories is clearly going to be the gem of a novel, a germ of a novel, the start of a novel. And so that's what this entire lecture is all about and where it came from. A couple people asked that I should do a lecture on how I'm going to convert some of these into novels, these short stories, and how to even go about doing it and how to even think about it. So that's what this is all about, and that's why this originated. To start off with, they are different forms. Short stories and novels are very different forms. Very, very different forms. And basically, in a base level, a short story is one character, one event. And that's it. That's pretty much what it is. Often I've heard people say that it's the most important event in the character's life. Yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's an event. So you're telling the story of one character, one event. And that's what a short story is. And you do that when by the time you get done building the character and the setting and character voice and all the other stuff and going through the event and then having the wrap up, basically the 7-point plot outline. Chris talks about that in How to Write a Short Story, the Basics. I think it's lecture number 2, way back a bunch of lectures ago. And if you don't understand that, then you probably want to take that lecture too. It's pretty basic, you know, and that's all I've been doing, you know, day after day after day, just writing one character, one event. And sometimes they're in some of my worlds, my ongoing series, and sometimes they're just not. I have no outline ahead of time. I do nothing. I just generate a title and start typing. And often I don't even realize it's going to be in a series until I'm a little bit into the story, and then I go, oh, wait a minute, this is part of that series, and this is part of my Cedars universe, or this is part of my Thunder Mountain universe, and then I go back and change it, and sometimes change the title. So a novel, of course, is more events and more characters. Now, by and large, again, there are exceptions to all of this, but that's the general rule of thumb, is a novel is a lot more events and more characters. You still always have, with any story, who's the story about. It's always about one person, or who's the novel about it. It's always about one person. This is a mistake that I made early on, and most beginning writers and early writers make in their careers, is they don't ever, when someone says, well, who's your novel about? And they just look at, well, but it's about this event that, no, who's your novel about? Novels are always about one person. Short stories are always about one person. So that's their similarity. But otherwise, they are very, very different forms. Very different forms. And so I'll be back in a minute here to get started down into this as we work our way down into how to go about doing some of this. Back in a minute.